Hey guys, Bill, the Kansas Flamingo Chef. Thanks for joining me for another episode. I don't know what it is about chilly weather that makes me want pasta, but for some reason, I want pasta. It's only like 38 degrees outside. It's the beginning of April. It's just too cold, and the wind's blowing like crazy, so I want pasta. So, I don't just want pasta. I decided I'd make chicken parmesan with some flamingo pasta. So what do you need to make chicken parmesan? You know, it's really not that complicated. You do need some chicken breast. You need some white cheese. Now you can use mozzarella or provolone. I prefer provolone. You also are going to need some Parmesan cheese. You're going to need some Italian seasoning of your choice. I like this grinder seasoning. And I also like to use just some pure oregano leaves. I also like a little garlic and some rosemary. Now, what else do you need? Well, you need a skillet. You need some oil. I prefer olive oil. And you need an egg wash, which is just eggs and milk. And you need Italian breadcrumbs. It's really all there is to it. Now, you are also going to need an oven and a pan to bake it in. And then last but not least, you need some pasta, although you don't have to have it. And if you're going to do pasta, you need some red sauce. Now, I'm not going to make my own red sauce this evening. I'm just going to use this jar of Bertolli because I'm ready to eat. It is 5:30 and I want to eat before 6:30. Okay, now I mentioned that you need an egg wash, and I was just going to put one together, but found out I didn't have any milk. So I'm making mine instead with heavy whipping cream. I don't have very much in here. Just 2 eggs and a little bit of cream. Now, the only reason I tell you that up front is it's going to make my finished product a little fluffier. And you don't want to beat this cream too much, or you'll have a giant pile of whipped cream. You're also going to have to, if you are using cream, add just a touch of water to keep it from stiffening. That's the only reason I made this segment, just so you know why my batter looks the way it does. Let's get started. Okay, so my water is boiling, so I'm ready to make pasta. I'm going to go ahead and put the pasta in there. I'm using this fun flamingo pasta that I found on Amazon. If you saw my quick shrimp pasta deal not too long ago, I used the same stuff, and it turned out kind of fun. So I've got some left. I need to use it. Now, when I make dinner for one, I generally make dinner for two. The reason is I have adult children, and sometimes one of them will show up. So here's my process. We're going to turn the camera just a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. Okay? Now, this first part you do not have to do, but I like to tenderize chicken. And flatten it out a little bit. There's a reason for this. One, it makes it cook faster like a schnitzel. Two, it looks prettier on a plate. Now, if you notice, when I pound the chicken out, I pounded it from the bottom side. The reason is that makes the top side still look nice, and it produces a better looking finished product. Okay, our chicken is ready to go to the egg wash, and then of course to the breadcrumbs as well. My pasta is starting to boil over, so bear with me just a second while I stir that. You notice, just see the time update, we're 5:33. Alright, so here's how I do this. Now, some people will tell you you need to flour the chicken first. I don't believe it. First thing I'm going to do is turn the oven on to 350 and get it warming up while I'm doing this. I'm going to throw the chicken in the egg wash. Take it out of the egg wash, put it in the breadcrumb. Now I'm only going to do one of them for the moment because I need some more space while I heat up some olive oil in the pan, because the chicken's going to go into the olive oil next. Okay, on the pan we're going to turn this up to about medium heat and put some olive oil in the pan. Now, if you watched my video just from making Scotch eggs a couple days ago, you heard me say don't fry in olive oil. That's true unless we're doing chicken parmesan or another Italian dish of this style, because quite frankly, the olive oil is the most important part of this. While the olive oil gets hot, there really isn't a whole lot I can do except bread the other piece of chicken. I'll lay them on a secondary plate and season them with a little garlic and my Italian seasonings. All right, the time is now 5:35. 2 minutes have expired, and we're going to add some seasoning to these pieces of chicken. All I'm going to do is grind some Italian seasoning over the top. There's already some in the breadcrumbs, but I want a little more. I'll dust it with just a little bit of granulated garlic. Doesn't take but just a tiny bit. And a little bit of oregano. Alright. The oil is getting hot. Now how do you test your oil to know if it's hot enough without a thermometer? Well, you can take a little bit of breadcrumb and throw in there and see if it sizzles. If it doesn't, it's not ready yet. I have seen people throw water in the oil. Don't do that. You could have a flash fire real easy. The oil's probably going to need to heat for about another 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, our oil is hot. I'm going to go ahead and turn the light on here and also this. Some of that steam out for just a second. The oil's hot. I promise you it's hot. I can smell it. It's hot. So we're going to make sure that we get this to where we have a low point and set a piece of chicken with the spices down into the oil. It really doesn't take very long because we're not going to fully cook it in the oil. We're actually going to cook it in a separate pan in the oven. This just gets a browning going. Alright, this first piece of chicken is almost done. My pasta is pretty much done as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. The time, for those of you keeping track, is 5:39. So, you can see it's got a nice little browning going on. Go ahead and turn that over and turn the heat up. Just going to absorb some of that heat and lay our second piece also with the smooth side or the seasoned side down. And let that cook for just a moment. In the meantime, my oven's up to 284, so it's almost ready to put this in. So I'm going to get another pan that I'm going to transfer my chicken into. And I'm going to, when I pull the chicken off of here, I'm going to put a couple paper towels in this pan. I'm going to absorb a little bit of that oil so I'm not transferring all of it. Then we'll take it back off the paper towel and we'll get it dressed to go to the oven. Okay, as you can see, my chicken's got a nice browning going. We're going to go ahead and take the first piece out. And I'm going to put it on this paper towel and just let that soak up a little bit of the olive oil. I've turned the other piece. It's just about ready too. The pasta's done, so I'm just going to turn the heat off and take that away. My oven is at 318. The time is 5:41. Racing with the clock here. All right, we're going to flip this over. Pull the other piece of chicken out of the grease. Set it on the paper towel. Turn the heat off. Take this pan away from the heat. And we're ready to dress the chicken to go to the oven. All right, so I'm going to take the chicken off the paper towel. Watch this. Here's the magic trick. Look at that. So difficult that nobody can do it. All right, just put your chicken in the pan. Take a piece of provolone and set one or two of them on each piece of chicken so that you're covering the chicken pretty much completely. In fact, this one's pretty pounded out. I'm going to put 3 pieces on there. And then over here I'll probably do 2. That's good. In fact, honestly, this one's so big and I need to get this cheese used up. We'll just go ahead and put 4 there. There's no such thing as too much cheese. All right. That's ready with the exception of the red sauce. Now, I at this point like to put some more seasoning in here. You don't need to, but I'm going to put some oregano. And I'm going to do just a little bit of garlic. I'm going to do a little bit of ground rosemary. Okay. And then the oven's ready. Boy, that's perfect timing. And it's 5:43. So we're going to just sauce this. Now, you can go as crazy with the sauce as you want. In fact, I'm just going to use the whole jar. It's not like I'm going to use it for anything else. Kind of let it cover the pan, put it in the oven. Now, I like, before it goes in the oven, to sprinkle some Parmesan over the top. You can do this after it comes out if you prefer, but I like that kind of charred look on the Parmesan. This is going to go in the oven. We're going to cook it for about 30 minutes. That puts us at 6:15. Okay, while you were away, I pulled the pasta and ran it through a strainer to get all the water off of it. And it is now 5:46. It hasn't been gone very long. And we're going to toss that pasta with a little bit of garlic butter. This is the Chef Chamois butter that I get at Sam's that I tell you about all the time. It's fantastic. It doesn't take much. It'll take about a tablespoon. This is the same pan that I cooked the chicken in. I have not completely cleaned it. I dumped the oil off, but I didn't wipe it dry. I'm going to quickly cook some asparagus on that oil with a little bit of garlic butter and some seasonings that match the other seasonings I'm using, because I like a vegetable. It's not going to take very long for this asparagus to start cooking. You're going to hear it cooking in just a matter of seconds when you get that surface hot again and you get that oil that you've already cooked in hot. But you also don't want to burn it. So that's why I'm going to put just a little bit of garlic butter, maybe just over a teaspoon. And I'm going to add some rosemary to this, just like I've done everything else. Because that Christmas tree flavor of rosemary actually does really well with asparagus. But you want to offset it a little bit. I've already got garlic, so we're going to use a little oregano and some salt and pepper. And I don't use a lot of salt in anything except boiling water, but I do like it on green vegetables. It also helps break them up a little faster. Okay. Now you can toss this if you feel confident, but I'm just going to move it around so you can see how to cook. And the key here is just get that garlic butter soaking into the asparagus and just let it keep cooking. Now here's the fun part. It is 10 minutes to 6. I'm going to let this cook for about another 10 minutes. At that point, we're almost at the point to take the chicken out. But instead of taking the chicken out, I'm going to stick the asparagus into the oven with it for just a little bit. I need to clarify, when I said I'm going to let this cook for another 10 minutes, I don't mean on high heat. You'll burn it up and it'll be black. So I'm going to turn it all the way down to low and just let it kind of work in the butter. If that pan starts to get so dry that it looks like it's turning it to charcoal, add a little more oil. In fact, this one I'm going to add a little olive oil to the mix to almost fry the asparagus at this point. It is now 5:58. My asparagus is basically done, but I want to braise it in the oven a little bit. But I'm also going to transfer some of the flavors from the chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken out of the oven. And you can see how it's starting to look. It looks awesome. And we're just going to close the oven back up. We're going to keep it hot. And then just transfer this asparagus right on the top. You can pour this olive oil and juice in there if you want to. It's not going to hurt anything. I don't know that we need it. But we're already here. When in Rome, right? Okay. And then we're going to put this pan back into the oven for about another 15 to 20 minutes. The time is 10 minutes after 6. I said I would eat by 6:30. I'm going to make it. Because I'm going to take the chicken out of the oven now. I just checked it. It's done. It's going to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to plate it, and it's time to eat. So when you take this out, be prepared for heat to come hit you in the face. And you can see that makes you hungry. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. That Makes you hungry. Look at that. Man, that's good stuff. All right, so it needs to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes before you plate it up, because otherwise it's just going to be smoldering hot and you won't be able to eat it. Plus, that cheese needs to set. Now, this is a good time if you want more cheese, sprinkle it on. I think there's probably enough. I'm ready to eat. There's no magic to plating this. Take a plate, put some pasta on it, put some chicken on it, put some asparagus on it. That's really all there is to it. Remember that even though you took that pan out of the oven, it's hot, so don't just reach over and grab the handle. Your pasta, not so much. So we're just going to put some pasta on here. It's more decoration than anything. And then just slide in here. Get you a piece of chicken. You can see the steam coming off of it. That ought to tell you how hot it is. I like it just to rest on the pasta a little bit and just roll the cheese over it. Then I'm going to grab some tongs, grab some asparagus, just kind of lay it in the open plating area. And then you can put some sauce over it if you want to. I like the sauce. Neither of my kids have ever wanted extra sauce. They always just want it the way it comes out of the oven, and that's fine. You can do it however you like it. I like the red sauce. That's it, kids. Bon appetit. You know, I say it in every video, or at least I try, and sometimes I neglect. But I really do appreciate you watching. And if there's a dish you'd like me to cook, please let me know. But here's the big one. Punch that subscribe button down there. Like and share. Tell your friends about the Kansas Flamingo Chef. It's more fun when more people join in. Have a great day and eat fabulous.